Hello, YouTube. Alright, kind of getting a late start today, but I feel like I'm coming off my little manic phase enough that I've actually been able to sleep well, and I'm sure my body needed that.
And she's demoting 3 assistant chiefs and suspending a sergeant. This is after an independent probe investigating the criminal charging of protesters as gang members last year. This report says Williams did not know about the charges and failed in leadership. 2 Maricopa County sheriffs detention.
Ooh, that's going to be an interesting developing story. All right, we got a good driver here. That's not a parking spot, asshole. Not pedestrian, you're good. Not a parking spot. You're an idiot. Oh, so yeah, this channel has never had any kind of real direction with it. And to be honest, my other channel, while it had a lot more focus than this one does, I used to have a YouTube channel called Dan the Taxi Man, which is funny because like it was titled Dan the Taxi Man, and it was gonna be when I set it up, my whole idea was I was gonna have it be about traffic related stuff and transportation related stuff, and it ended up largely being almost completely being karaoke tracks and restored music videos. What can I say? I have a lot of interests, and I'm just gonna, sometimes I just kind of put things where I put things, and you know, if you find them and enjoy them, well, that's great. That's why I do it.
East and westbound Superior to Miami, not only was there flooding and debris, but there's road erosion as well, so no estimated time of reopening. This traffic report brought to you by Papa Murphy's. At Papa Murphy's, get made from scratch pizza from a low price for just $11. Pick up a chicken bacon artichoke pizza, pick one up today, and enjoy a slice of the good life for just $11. Dieter Dan, KTR News.
Well, that was fun. I have no idea what those sound bites were that just got put over the top of Detour Dan's traffic report, but I'm glad I got them recorded. That was some proof that things are live down at KTAR. Oh, man, there are times I do legitimately miss being in broadcasting, even though I haven't done it since '95. It's something that was a really big part of me. I was very passionate about, and I don't know if I'll ever return to it. It's highly unlikely, but I certainly do think about it from time to time. Oh, so speaking of my many interests, I'm sure you've probably noticed by now that I especially if you're following me on other social medias, that I'm really into collecting a lot of and using a lot of outdated media and outdated hardware and software for that matter. I mean, something I've certainly been working on quite a bit lately is trying to make my Motorola Droid 4 with its full keyboard a usable portable device. Other than shooting some video I haven't been able to remove, I haven't had much success with that, but I'm still kind of working on it, and I've managed to keep it charged up and with me ever since I found it while looking for a DVD or a Blu-ray player for Tony. Speaking of which, I really need to touch base with Tony today, because I really want that Denon, as dated as it is, I want that Denon DVD player back, and I really want her to be able to watch Blu-rays. I also want to set her up properly on her TV for watching broadcast TV. She's made a mistake that I've seen actually a lot of older people and less tech-savvy people do. She has a 2006, what was it at the time, a high-end 2006, semi-high-end 2006 Sony Bravia HD TV. I'm pretty damn sure that TV has a ASTC HDTV tuner built into it. I forget exactly what year the FCC mandated that TVs sold in the U.S. were required to have them, but even if they weren't mandated by 2006, I'm sure Sony would have put one in a high-end TV. But like a lot of people, she's kind of, caught wind that if you want broadcast TV, you need to have a converter box. So she's got a converter box that was made to receive U.S. digital broadcast TV, ASTC TV, and deliberately cripple it down to 480i. She's got one of those connected to her HD TV, and that's how she's receiving broadcast channels locally. And she seemed really confused when I told her that her TV that she shouldn't need that she should get much better TV without it. And when I was there the other day, I really didn't have time to mess with that, but I do want to hook that up for her. And probably take that converter box off her hands. At this point, I'm hoarding more of those than I need to, but it's a different model than the ones I have, and who knows? Maybe someday I'll do a Techmoan-esque video about all the different converter boxes that were rushed to market around 2009. When my analog NTSC TV was shut down. That's something I'd enjoy doing. But anyway, so we talked about antiquated tech that I'm still using or enjoying using or trying to be using. Not having a lot of progress with the Droid 4, but I put a little time in it every day since I found it, and it's coming along really slowly. The biggest problem I'm having is it just it's tied into my primary Google account, which this YouTube is a part of, which I don't know the damn password to, and I'm just unbelievably terrified of being locked out of this account. So I'm not trying to do any kind of password recovery with a device that is at this point a curiosity more than anything. I did manage to make another Google account for my Obama phone, and that will be spawning. Oh wow, a new sign for the Capri. That's pretty. I did create a new Google account for it, as that is a phone I'm actively using, and I had a much bigger need to be able to be using Google stuff on it, and so with that just came another YouTube channel. There's no content there yet, but hey, you may as well go there and subscribe to me anyway. It's Dan the Karaoke Man. My plan right now for it, which of course plans for me change daily, sometimes by the minute. I mean, heck, there wasn't even a plan for me to get an Obama phone. That just happened while I was vlogging and was like, oh look, there's a tent giving away Obama phones on the left. I think I shall stop there, and that certainly changed the course of what I'm doing with my life, and I feel greatly for the better. Anyway, the channel name is Dan the Karaoke Man, all lowercase, all one word. I like to do things like that. It's kind of old school. It's kind of an old school way of titling stuff. God knows I want everything to be backwards compatible with DOS. So there you go. My plan for that is to actually turn that into a promotional channel for my karaoke hosting and DJ business. I really don't have this YouTube channel tied to that, for fear that any bar owner that I'm marketing to will find these vlogs and be like, oh my lord, that guy has so many mental health problems, I don't think I want him in my gotten pretty adept at masking that. At masking that, and I'm very beloved. At least I think I am. I mean, God knows I miss a lot of social clues. I might be hated and just misinterpreting them. But I feel like I'm very loved in a lot of different bars. So yeah. So I'm not tying this. This is so just unscripted, off the cuff, and personal. I'm definitely not tying this to that. So yeah, I do want to get another karaoke related channel going, where I keep karaoke tracks. I do still have 2 karaoke tracks on this channel, and they're just ones that I meant to go on the other channel. I inadvertently loaded them here, and by the time I realized that I had made the mistake, they had so many views. It was like, well, the algorithm's already taken hold of this. There's no point in pulling it down. So I forget what they're for, but they still get a lot of views. So. I can just imagine the people that land on it are like, ooh, new karaoke channel, this is awesome. And they look at the channel and look at the videos to see what other karaoke I have, and find these vlogs and probably like, what the actual fuck is this? But, hey, welcome to YouTube. Have a nice day. By the way, have you seen my cat videos? And there's still much debate in the comment section of Louis Rossman's videos as to what the topic of, what the focus of his channel is, and I love it. And I mean, for that matter, you want to get into, YouTube history, and I used to follow him, and I haven't lately, along with just about everybody else on YouTube, but PewDiePie, I mean, look at the history of his channel. At one point in time, it was by far the largest channel on YouTube. Started with video game, playthrough videos, which I am not interested in the slightest. But I've occasionally watched them just because the commentary's been entertaining. Or let's face it, the gamer was hot. But his channel just transformed it into just so much of, you really never knew what he was going to upload next, and I really think that's I mean, don't get me wrong, I love a lot of hyper focused and channels that deliver quality content that what they're giving you and what their focus is. I mean, another one I really enjoy is City Beautiful, but I mean, he does what he does, and I don't think he's ever gonna do a vlog about old MP3 players. But hey, stranger things have happened. Anyway, where was I going to with this? Oh, old electronics. So a good friend of mine who I know actually does watch this channel sent me a meme a long time ago with something that has really become a kind of a personal motto of mine, and that's that obsolescence is a lack of imagination. If you've got a piece of equipment that the general public would call obsolete, if you're able to find a use for it and regularly use it for that use, is it really obsolete? I'm gonna say no. I'm arguably doing my entire karaoke. I can't talk today. I'm arguably doing my entire karaoke show completely on obsolete equipment, and it's acknowledged by a lot of people that I have what appears to be one of the most cutting edge technologically cutting edge shows in the Phoenix metro area, and that's because nobody really sees the equipment that I use. Nobody really sees the software that I use. Nobody's really that interested. The people that are, I show them, and the people that are knowledgeable of it are usually like, wait, what? You're using what combined with? Wow, that's crazy. But most people are just there to sing or watch the music videos or just enjoy the show or enjoy the music. They're taking it in. So what they see is the output to the TVs. And I've got high definition, clearly high definition going on numerous screens at pretty much every venue I've ever been in. I've got sound that fills the room, and usually sounds really good at every venue I've ever been in. I've got wireless microphones that I do my best to make sure work no matter where you are in that bar, and that you can see screens no matter where you go in that bar. And then I'm doing a seamless mix, relatively seamless mix of backgrounds, CDG graphics, music video, photographs, what have you. Definitely a mixed media sort of thing. And there are a lot of people running very modern equipment that aren't doing that. It just kind of is what it is. And a sufficiently talented carpenter can do top-notch work using nothing more than a handsaw, a hammer, and nails. It can be done. It's probably not going to be the most productive. He's going to work slowly. But if that guy is a master of his craft, he's probably going to stay working a lot. And he'll be able to charge quite a bit for his labor. Not that I'm charging a whole lot for my labor these days, but just kind of throwing that out there as an analogy. Anyway, today's piece of random obsolete tech that I just happened to notice in my room while I was getting ready to head out the door for today's adventure is this. And due to the angle of the sun, you're not really seeing it very well, but it's an iRiver MP3 player. And those who know, and most everybody have no idea what that is. At the time when that came out, for 90% of the population, it was like, ooh, I need to get an iPod. People that were jumping on the bandwagon were getting iPods. In my opinion, not to discount the iPod and what it is and what it does, but for my purposes, this is... Sorry, there's flashing lights behind me, and I'm not sure if it's a cop or what, but whatever it is highly unnerving. Okay. It wasn't like cop lights, but it was, just say it was highly unnerving. Where was I? iRiver. That's fine. I needed to pop into Circle K and get my Sip and Save drink for the day. I don't think I got mine yesterday. Gotta make sure I make the most of my $6. Anyway, this improves the lighting. Maybe you actually be able to see it this time. There we go. I forget the model number on this one. I'm not sure if it's the same model of the one that I used to have back when it was a semi-current model, but it's pretty much the same kind of features. And yeah, it's an MP3 player, but it supports other features. It also has an FM tuner. It's also capable of recording from its FM tuner. In many ways, this an iPod for the most part was just a playback device for MP3s, and it wasn't even really that, if memory serves. And I'm not an Apple fanboy, so if I'm inaccurate on this, by all means correct me in the comments section so that I can learn. But I believe all music, you had to use iTunes with it. As someone who doesn't like iTunes, that was always it was not a selling point for me. And I believe every time you loaded music on it, it was there was some DRM that prevented you from removing that music. You moved those files to it, and you had to dock it back on the same machine with the same iTunes library, and nothing. You didn't remove anything from it. It was a one-way transfer of those files. And also, when it went to your iPod, it wasn't an MP3 whatsoever. I believe it was converted to M4A or something of that nature, some kind of an Apple proprietary audio format. I want to say M4A, and or something similar to that. And in most people's heads, oh, it's an MP, an iPod was an MP3 player because, they imported their MP3 library into, that they had probably downloaded off Napster or whatever, LimeWire. They imported that MP3 library into their iTunes. To them, iTunes was a great improvement on whatever MP3 player they were using before, which may have been Winamp, which of course I'm still using to this day. And then they're like, oh, look, I can manage my library so much better. And now I have the iTunes store. Yeah, that was never of interest to me. And oh, somebody's messaging me on my Obama phone. And then they would move their library onto their that MP3 library onto their iPod, and in their mind that was their MP3 player, in spite of the fact that those files weren't MP3s anymore. This is an MP3 player. It also supports many other formats. I know one of them is WAV, and I don't know the other formats it supports off the top of my head. Probably some no longer wanted or needed version of Windows Media Audio. It's not a video player, it's strictly an audio player, but this is in many ways a direct replacement for a recording Walkman, but using digital memory instead of cassette tapes as the medium. It has a tuner. You can record off the radio. It has a microphone. It's a pretty crappy little condenser mic, but it does a shockingly good job. You can record directly off of that. Of course, those recordings are going to be mono. But it goes one step further, which is honestly farther than even a lot of boom boxes and portable cassette recorders went. It's got a line input, and that's not focusing very well, but it's got a line input. Now, that's an 1/8" stereo jack, but it is line level. It's not mic level, although I've used it with microphones with pretty good results. Yeah, any device that you could hook up with an aux cable, what people like to call an aux cable these days, a 1/8" stereo audio cable, you can run that into there and any device and record from it. So if I want to dub a cassette and I have a decent quality Walkman, I can plug the other end of this cord into a Walkman, and this thing will do a frighteningly good job of digitizing that cassette. Oh, I hit the wrong button. Anyway, so the recording option, the recording uses of this are pretty unlimited because it has such a basic input. I can select the format I want to record to, from something that's based on, because obviously I have a limited amount of storage and I forget how much it is. Maybe it's a gig or 512 megs, I don't recall. By today's standards, it's a very limited amount of space. By the standards when it was made, it was a lot of space. But it's but anyway, yeah, your options as a recording device are pretty unlimited on this. And if I want the highest quality, I do believe I can record to WAV, but I'm going to be very limited on how much I can record. If I'm just trying to record speech, I could set it, I think, at like 96 kbit mono MP3, and suddenly I have a whole lot of recording space. If I'm looking, to do high fidelity music, to be honest, most of the time, and a lot of people in the MP3 community would say this is heresy, but most of the time I'm quite happy with the sound quality of 92 kbit MP3s. But I occasionally I do hear compression artifacts at 192 kbit, and just to be on the safe side, I mean, I can always go with 320. I think it'll do 320 kbit MP3s as well. But what I'm thinking about using it for is recording my better singers, or maybe recording all my singers, who knows. I don't think I have enough space on this to record an entire karaoke show at a quality, at a sound quality that I'm going to want to do anything with. But certainly I use it to record myself and some of my better singers. And I did try that a couple of shows when I was at Castaways, and then I kind of dropped the ball on this. So I think there's still some recordings of singers on here that I need to remove from it and do something else with. Other things I really like about it, it runs on a single AA battery. I mean, yeah, there's certainly an advantage to having a rechargeable battery, but it's not hard to get a single rechargeable AA battery, and that brings it right up into, you know, the modern, hey, I don't have to throw batteries in it, but, you know, when the battery dies, it's nice to be able to just go anywhere and grab an alkaline battery and toss it in here and not be down until you can find a place to charge it. Obviously, it's not going to charge the battery that goes in there. It is not a charging device, it's a battery draining device. That's a headphone jack. I shouldn't have to explain that to you. Or maybe I do, because how do you connect your Bluetooth headphones? Well, you don't. I only have one pair of Bluetooth headphones, and I hate them. Anything else I should mention about this that's notable? That pretty much sums it up. Oh, yes, of course, it's data connection. That's important. It's hidden under this rubberized cover. Yep, that is mini USB, which is... I actually spent some quality time with a random homeless man last night, trying to help him out, do a little bit I can. Not giving him money, but just trying to help him out. And he had 2 phones and a smartwatch and nowhere to charge them. So we chilled and we talked, and I let him charge one of his smartphones in my car. The other one I couldn't charge because it had a USB-C connection. So I don't have anything that modern. So consequently, I don't have that cord. So good to know that there's a homeless man in downtown Phoenix that is more technologically ahead of me. But at any rate, yeah, I have to go even further backwards for mini USB if I'm going to use that, which is pretty funny. But I intend to. That's the other thing I mentioned, like an iPod. You know, you're just moving that music off of it. Say the computer that you have your iTunes library on it is, you know, completely dies and you can't restore that, and you want to move that music to another device or to another computer, you can't. Due to the GRM in it, you can't. Whereas that thing, this device here, this iRiver, if memory serves, I could be wrong on this. There's a voice in my head that's screaming, Dan, you're full of shit, you need proprietary software, and you're never going to find it. And maybe I do. But if memory serves, when I plug that thing into a USB port on any kind of machine, it's just an external storage device. If I want to, I can use it as a flash drive, I think. Pretty sure. I do believe I could use it to move PDF files from one computer to another if I felt so inclined to do it. Obviously, I'm not going to view them on it, but it's pretty sure it just operates as flash storage. And I hope I'm not over. I think there's a voice in my head screaming that I'm wrong. But I know I used to own a Creative Labs player that I did that with, and I've owned other quote unquote inferior MP3 players that I had no problem doing that with. In fact, I used to have I believe it was a Creative Labs Movo. When I was going through my divorce and was homeless, and that thing went with me everywhere. And as I went from law library to law library, that's what I moved and it was working on. Well, speaking of homeless, that guy's going through the trash. Good times. No, he's probably going to go through the ashtray and find a cigarette butt to put in his mouth. And we're worried about masks. I would keep that with me everywhere, and I would go into different law libraries and work on legal documents and research for myself and for other men in the Arizona Fathers' Rights Group that I was helping, and other random people that I met. You know, mostly fathers, but as well as a couple mothers that were struggling to maintain custody of their children or in custody disputes and just needed some help. And I used that device for, it didn't store a lot, but I had enough music on it to give me something to listen to when there was nothing good on the radio. And I use it primarily as a flash drive to move my documents around. And that, at that time in my life, that was infinitely more useful to me than an iPod would have been. So I hope the iRiver does that. I think it does. But it does seem like I do believe it came bundled with a CD-ROM with some kind of proprietary software. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. But this isn't the iRiver video. It just kind of inadvertently turned into one. Anyway, wow, I'm at over 30 minutes. I'm going to have a hell of a time uploading this one, and probably nobody stayed with me that long. So, but I appreciate you if you did. I'm going to go ahead and stop this. Just part of me really wants to walk into Circle K with it, but I'm going to go ahead and stop it so this individual video isn't too long. I've actually crossed the threshold of too long, but anyway, you know, so it isn't any longer. And I'm going in trying to get my sip and safe drink. So wish me luck, because there's still an extreme shortage of 32-ounce fountain cups. So.